All right, guys. Hey, turn the music off. We're ready to go. Thank you all for coming out tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here. I mean, it's a privilege here to be here for the 1-year anniversary of the On Athletics Club. For those of you who don't know, I am the host of Tracklandia, Jeff Merrill. There are probably a lot of you who don't know that, but let's get going for this evening. We're gonna have a lot of people out here on stage. It's gonna be a great evening. We'd like to thank the Boulder Running Company for hosting us. Let's give them a round of applause. And also thank you to Rad for catering too. All right, we got a Boulder Running fan out there. Big thank you to On Running for having the Tracklandia crew out here and also for assembling one of the greatest teams in the world today that didn't exist a year ago. They've catapulted up to the upper echelon of the track team rankings on planet Earth, and we're very happy to have them here this evening. All 11 athletes will be joining us up here on stage, and their coach, Dathan Ritzenheim. We wanted this evening to be an evening where Dathan just hands out a bunch of awards, and then we all have a pizza buffet afterwards, but it turned into this instead, which is fantastic. Love that. This is a very successful upstart team, the On Athletics Club. And like I said, they didn't exist before 2020. They were only an idea. And now 2021, we're here today on this stage that's set for a band. So, banner year for the team. And look at this. Look at this apparel, too. I'm all swagged out right now. I look like Jordy Beamish. I'm going to hit the Strip. I'm going to hit Pearl Street after this. Look at these socks. I was walking through Target today, and this kid said, "Really mess with your shoes." And I didn't know what that meant, but I think it's a good thing. So, thank you. That kid's probably in the audience here tonight. Shout out to you. All right. So, 11 athletes on the team right now, and I'm not going to list their accolades here today. We've got a video that we're going to cut to, and it's going to do that for you. So, without further ado, check this out.
Marvelous result.
And that's top ranked in the nation.
Ritzenheim with an incredible performance.
And that's top ranked in the nation.
Ritzenheim with an incredible performance.
One more.
3:32.36. Wow.
When this team first came together, there was a lot of skeptics, but now that everybody's running really well, people are taking note.
this first year. It's really the first step for us. We're just getting started.
What do you think of that? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. 5 Olympians in their first year. Every athlete set PRs this year. It's an amazing group. And I like each and every one of them. So it's a credit to the on leadership that this group started, and the coach, of course, Dathan Ritzenheim, and also the leadership putting people in position like Andrew Weeding and Steve DeCoker, and giving them the decision-making abilities to be able to put together a team like this. It's a beautiful thing. When you do that, they deliver on their passion and vision, and you get a year like 2021. So we're very pleased with that. So without further ado, let's bring up the head man of the On Athletics Club. He's a 3-time Olympian, one of the most legendary distance runners in American history, a Boulder and CU legend, Dathan Ritzenheim. Come up on stage. How are you, my man?
I'm good.
Good, yeah, take a seat.
All right. Is this thing on?
Yeah.
Is this thing on? All right.
It's hot. So Dathan, congratulations on an amazing year.
Thank you. Thank you. It
Yeah.
was pretty incredible. I had to pinch myself a lot over and over again. This team was just amazing, and I can't believe it's been a little over a year now, and all that they've accomplished is just unbelievable.
Yeah, so tell me about a little about how this formed. You're back in Boulder, obviously, and you spent 4 or 5, how many years in college?
I was in college for 5 years, but
Okay.
but I lived here in Boulder for about 7 years, and then I went out, did the rest of my career in the rest of the world, and when I got the call about a year and a half ago from a person who I think has been instrumental in this, that probably doesn't get a lot of the attention. I mean, I get a lot of attention and accolades for this, but Steve DeCoker is someone who he called me up in April of 2020 and threw out this idea, and I was about ready to be done with my own professional career, and I couldn't believe the direction that it was going to take, and him and Andy Weeding and Feliciano, who are the leadership people that really saw the vision of this team, they thought of that before they thought of me. So they really had a vision to put this together. It's just amazing what they've really helped us to create.
Well, yeah, let's talk about the team itself for a little bit. How was this idea pitched to you that we're going to have a team for On Running?
Yeah, I didn't know a ton about On. I knew a little bit about them as a budgeting company, but I knew Steve well, and we went back for years in my previous life as a pro runner, and so he came to me with the idea of it. Of course, Andy, I was on 2 Olympic teams with him, and so when those guys came to me with an idea and a vision of what they wanted for the team, I knew they were serious, and so I had a phone call then with the founder, one of the founders of the company, Olivier Bernard, who was himself a professional athlete, a triathlete, and world champion duathlete, and I had a phone call with him. Like this is in the middle of the pandemic, over Zoom. He's in Zurich, and he got off the phone and he told Steve in 3 minutes that he's the guy. So I don't know what I said, but I can sell things too, I guess. But I don't think I had to do much because they had some athletes already in mind, and so it was really getting me on board, and then let's get this thing going. Yeah,
I mean that's a great feeling to take charge of a team like this, and to be able to steward this kind of thing in the international track world. What did you want this team to be? I know that you guys focus a lot on team culture, and you're not just coaching or giving training advice to athletes. This is an actual team.
Yeah, that's how we envision ourselves as different from many other groups, is that, and we run it like a team sport. we get people on this team who have strengths and weaknesses, but the strengths that those guys have, they help the weaknesses of the others. And so we fit people into this team, and every person that we recruit onto the team has a space that we see as needing to be filled in the team. And they have to come into our team now and make it stronger. And so that's something that's different, I think, and we're with each other, like, except we took 2 or 3 weeks off. We just got going again this week. Other than that, the last year plus, we've been together nonstop, 5-6 days a week. We've become very close, and it's like you travel on the road like a professional sports team. And so we kind of I guess we work off from each other's energy very well. Like some of our guys, they feed off of each other. Some of our women, they feed off each other, and they get each other stronger, make each other better. And it showed in the results this year. It was incredible. They were so emotionally invested in each other's training, and I think that helped to elevate every single one of them.
Yeah, and going into this year, this is the first year that this group exists, would you expect the outcome that you got from everybody on this team this year?
You know, I had to pinch myself with what they continued to do, but I would see it in practice. But they actually delivered on the field of play, and that's what matters. I mean, as a coach, I'm with them all the time, and I could see Joe's getting in close to 13-minute shape. I could see Ollie's one of the best 1,500-meter runners in the world, but they actually toe the line and they make it happen, and that's something that I think has been created in our environment. They believe in themselves, and that's kind of what I told them this year. That's the theme for us this year, is to commit and believe, because last year was fun. Like, they had all this fun, and we started to have those, that energy that kept moving. But now, like, they just have to believe that they can take the next step again. And I tried to, just create an environment for them to be able to push each other, and really they do so much of the work and so much of the work behind the scenes. Even this stuff, like, we have a team at On that has invested heavily in the dreams of these runners, and to be able to inspire other people to change. And so, like, that's just something that's different. I mean, we literally have leadership that we have we have a summit going on here in town. We have members of our footwear team that we've brought in to work one-on-one with the athletes, and they really want to know, the company wants to drive forward that innovation with our team here, and that's just so exciting.
I mean, that means so much coming from, or to get that okay from the top, that, yeah, go ahead and let's take this thing to the moon. Which, I mean, I know it's going to go a lot higher in the years to come, but yeah, an absolutely amazing first year. And before you got to the On Athletics Club, you were already coaching a few athletes too.
Yeah, that's right. A couple of them that are on the team here, actually, even.
Well, we're going to bring them up on stage right now. Yeah, some of these athletes to join the OAC were athletes you were coaching, and Midwestern steeplechasers Leah Fallon and Emily Oren, and then another athlete who was already an On athlete who came afterwards, Alicia Konachek. Let's bring them out. 2-time NCAA champion Leah Fallon, 8-time Division II champion Emily Oren, and 2021 Olympian Alicia Konachek. Let's bring them out on stage here. Right on. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
Yeah, thank you for being here. You got to talk right into the microphone here. Yeah, it's technology. So, Emily, let's start with you. So you're training in Michigan with Dathan here. He's coaching you. What was it like, this process, getting on the team? Did one day he just show up to practice and he was like, hey, On wants to put together this world-class track team, and they want you on it. Pack your bags. We're going to Boulder.
Almost. He texted me and Leah and was like, hey, let's have a meeting. And Leah and I lived together at the time, and so we were hypothesizing on what it could be about. And this team was not even close to what we had come up with. He sat us down at his house one day and told us about it and said, I would love if you guys could come out there, and I think it'd be a cool opportunity. And we got in the car, and I think we're both like, whoa, what just happened? Are we moving to Colorado? And yeah, a couple weeks later, we're like, yeah, I guess we're doing it. So close, but it was at his house, not at practice.
How close was this to your high school dreams of joining a pro sports team, if that's what your dream was?
Yeah. Well, when I was in high school, I probably thought. I guess in high school, I probably didn't think I was a professional athlete, but in middle school, I thought it'd be a soccer team. And then in college, this is definitely a dream of mine, and after college, and it's not something I ever really thought I'd have the opportunity to do, because coming from Division II, it can be a lot harder to get these opportunities. So when he approached me with it, was, yeah, honestly, just a dream come true.
And Alicia, you were already an on-athlete at the time, and then how was that process for you getting into the OAC here? How was
Yeah, it was a little bumpy road there. I was training on my own in Albuquerque, New Mexico, coach online. And then I got a phone call from Steve at the beginning of May, and he's like, we're creating this group. We don't know who's going to be the coach. We don't know who's going to be in it. But do you want to be part of it? I'm like, yes, sign me up. I want to be part of something bigger than just training by myself. And then a month later, I got to know that it was Coach Dathan, and I was just like, yeah, it's like he was an idol for all the athletes, even back in Poland. Like my brother was looking up to him, and he's gonna be my coach. So it was like, yes, it was great. It was great to get that phone call from Steve first, and then get to know everybody through the summer, and yeah, officially join the team like in the summer. Yeah.
So the entire Polish community just rejoiced when you joined the team, and Dathan was the coach there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the people were like impressed with like now, especially now when they see the results, they are like opening their eyes really widely. Yeah,
people are taking note. And Leah, you had so you had been training with Dathan, and you've had your ups and downs throughout 2016 to 2021. Obviously, very high highs in your final year at Michigan State, and then made your way through a few programs. What about the On Athletics Club kind of rejuvenated you there?
Yeah, I was looking for a team, honestly. I was with a different company before, and kind of at a point when I met Dathan prior to the On Athletics Club, where I was, on my way out of the sport, and Dathan scooped me up and said, "There's more to be done here, and I believe in you," and that's what I needed to hear. And then the OAC. I feel like it's given me a part of my career that I lost for a few years, and I've gained friends, and I've found a passion for the sport that I didn't know I could get in professional running. And so it's a very authentic and professional space. But I looked around for a few years as a pro and thought, like, is this even possible? Is this a thing that I can do, where I can balance having a group of people that I love and I support? Because I love college. I thrived in the college setting, being able to support my teammates. And then when I went pro, I didn't have anyone. And now as a member of the OAC, it's just been great to watch these people just out of college, just finding these just extremely special parts of themselves in running and being able to be a part of it. And yeah, I've loved it, and it's been really, really cool to be a part of it.
It is an individual sport, but you need that community to help along the way and to lift you up.
Community makes a difference day in and day out. Training, you do it by yourself, but also you need those people to get you out the door. And if you're at the track doing a workout, you need those people who are just going to push you. It's the little stuff that adds up, and when you have a team behind you who is also doing the little stuff, and Dathan obviously knows how to do it, so he's been pushing us. So. Yeah,
and Dathan, did the way that you coached Leah and Emily change from the Michigan days to the OAC? How did your approach change as a team, or did it?
Did it? Probably.
Nah, not really that much.
I guess I don't know. I'm not a yeller. I'm not chucking chairs, or anything like that. I don't know. I feel like I'm very emotionally invested in each one of them, and I know that they have each one of their own goals. And so, like, as a professional runner myself for 16 years, I know the pain and the joy as well. And so I kind of know what I guess maybe what's going on in their head somewhat. And so I just try to put them in the right positions, I think, because a lot of times it's like, to me, my philosophy is basically to make them believe in themselves. And so I don't think you can do a great job at that, like creating that relationship with the athlete and with the team without spending a lot of time with them. And so I spend a lot of time with them. I get to know them, and I can see it might be a workout, one day, like, all right, today's the day to let them go. Like, let's build some confidence. Or today's the day where we gotta chill it out because they're on the verge, of going the other way. And so I think I did that back in the old days. I just maybe, like anything else, I've gotten maybe a little bit better at it. But I probably spend more time at it now. I don't have to worry about myself anymore. I still train. I run 50 miles a week, but I run for myself, not for the goals that they have, And so that's my number one priority in my job, is to be able to give them that sense of belief, and they will do it if I put them in that right atmosphere. They will stand on the start line and they'll believe.
Can you still stick it to them in a tempo, though? Let us know that. That's what we all want to know.
Some, it's getting harder. Alicia Monson, is getting very hard to be able to stay with her. I did run 50% of the workout with 2 different groups today.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like a whole workout then. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, while you guys were being courted to be on the team for the OAC 2 in this Mighty Ducks 2 situation where we've got people coming in from everywhere, there was another person being courted as well, and this man was making a name for himself over in CU, just down the road here, and he had his senior season taken away, like a lot of athletes did, but ended up making good on it this year and making the Olympic team in the 10,000 meters. So let's welcome Mighty Joe Klecker to the stage. We've got a cheering section out here for Mighty Joe. Joe, hey, first things first, congratulations on the engagement, first of all.
Thank you.
Yeah, how did you pop the question?
On the top of Vail Mountain.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and I actually heard from somebody close to you that the Vikings were playing that day too, and she said that if the Vikings lost, you might have not proposed on the day that you did.
Yeah, well, no, it was good though, because the Vikings and the Bills both won that day, so.
Oh, now it's on. Yeah, you got it.
But yeah, no, I had to get it done before the Vikings game because they played it too.
Oh, okay, yeah, so you made it back.
Made it back down.
Well, congratulations on that as well. Yeah, incredible season here. You PR'd in every event from 1,500 to 10,000 meters. Let's talk about a little bit first. You were being courted pretty heavily, if I understand, by the on-running group. They wanted you pretty badly. What about this vision that they created for you made you want to jump in and say, like, I want this instead of the existing groups on the scene?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that drew me in was they're talking a very big game about what they wanted to build, and it was hard initially to look at nothing and see what they wanted. But as the process went on, it just kind of seemed like everything they wanted to do just kind of started happening. Like they hired Dathan, and it's like bringing in just one of the top runners in the country now to coach the group was super exciting, and someone who I thought would work well with me, just coming from a similar background. We both ran for Colorado. And so that was a big thing, like just having a coach, because I didn't necessarily know if I wanted to change coaches. It's a hard decision. And so bringing in Dathan was a very comforting thing. And then just hearing from them the athletes that they wanted to sign. And then I would actually go talk to those athletes and that they were also interested in joining this group. And so it just kind of felt like there was all this momentum like building behind this group. When initially it was just all talk, but they've delivered on everything they've said.
And I know, like, just from seeing you guys interact at meets and things like that, and things that I've read, that you and Dathan have a pretty strong relationship. So what about Dathan made you think, oh yeah, like I'm gonna go in there and I could PR for my first 10 races and then make the Olympic team?
Yeah, I think it's just the belief that he like puts in like he makes you believe in yourself, and so it's just kind of like you'd finish a workout and on paper it's a great workout, but he would just kind of reiterate like, look, in my career I did that workout, you know, before I ran the American record or something, and you just start to like look at what you're doing, and he's able to give you context for what you're doing. And so that was like, you just go on the starting line, you have an amazing amount of confidence knowing like the work you've done, it's going to translate on race day, just because it's different like when a coach hasn't run, like they just assign the workouts, but Dathan's done the workouts and he's made Olympic teams, he's run American records, and so if you're doing what he was doing, like it's probably going to work out for you.
Yeah, and the 10K historically, it's an older man's race. Like you don't see guys coming straight out of college usually to make that team. I'll be honest, I didn't pick you, which I'm a little, yeah. I mean I thought this is an old man's race. Yeah, I know. I hear a lot of boos out in the crowd right now, but I lost a lot of money because of that. So after that, I was like, I'm all in on everybody here on the On Athletics Club, and it worked out in the end.
Yeah, no, I didn't really think on planning on running a 10K this year. I never ran one in college except cross country, and so when Dathan kind of like was looking at, you know, the year ahead going to the Olympic year, what my best chances were to make the Olympic team, and he mentioned the 10K, and the standards came out, and the standard was so fast, only a few Americans had ever run that time. I was a bit like thrown off, like how am I gonna, I've never run a 10K, and now I have to both go run one of the fastest American 10Ks ever and then go beat some of the best runners in the country. And so it was, you know, he had a vision for it, but it took like a while to convince me that that was my best route to the Olympics.
Right on. Yeah, and I mean, being a young guy and this is your first year as a pro, like I can't imagine what the next few years are going to look like under Dathan's training program too. It's pretty exciting. But let's keep moving on down the line here. Rounding out the group at the beginning of 2021, we had another cast of characters here, star-studded field. So we had NCAA champion Alicia Monson, another NCAA champion Ollie Hoare, now Olympian, Jordy Beamish, NCAA champion as well, and Carlos Villarreal, the Pan American Games champion too. Let's bring them up on stage to join us. Oh yeah, let's let the smoke clear here for a little bit.
You see.
Guys, thanks for joining us. Hey, Ollie, let's start with you. I like your sweater, by the way. What do you think of mine?
I like it. It's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks
What
good.
Is it, On?
Yeah, this is an On running
It's lovely.
gear.
Looks fantastic.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, in stores pretty soon, I think. You, Ollie, let's get back to business here. You were on a tear this year in 2021. So you had to keep hitting this standard over and over and over to get selected by the Australian team. But nobody wanted to get into races that you were in because they knew that you were going to take it out hard, like 151 through the 800, and you ran 333 a few times there. What was that like, just going through the meat grinder every time you jumped on the track there?
Yeah, it was funny because I wasn't liked very well in the call room because the anticipation of like what was going to happen. And I think racing in particular changed in the 1500 this year. If you notice, a lot of the races were a lot quicker. But for Dathan and I in particular, like we had to prove our spot to make the Australian team. It wasn't going to be an easy selection. Unfortunately, we couldn't go back for the trials because of coronavirus and the quarantine procedure in Australia. So obviously coming out of college and trying to place yourself as one of the best runners in the country, we had to kind of prove ourselves a little bit. And I mean, the conditions for certain races weren't great, but we were trying to just get under that standard as much as possible, get noticed, and kind of shake it up a little bit, kind of make it a bit more harder to run it. And I noticed that a lot, particularly in the Diamond League races leading up as well. So that was the idea of it. We were fit, we wanted to kind of go after it, and I think one of the races we kind of made sure Pacer was in it so we could go for it and keep pushing that time, and it really helped me gain confidence moving from college to professional, but as well as just knowing I could hit that time and be competitive at it.
And is that a style that you're going to commit to now? Can we count on you to go to the front?
I think I have to right now. Yeah. No. It was fun because I think my first Diamond League race wasn't fast. It was tactical, but it was very, very terrible conditions. And then after that, it was quick. Like particularly moving forward into championship racing, a lot of the races just got tactical, but got quick, and they were under the standards. So like people kind of rose to that occasion. I know a lot of athletes, European athletes, really rose to that idea of running low 330s for 1500 because they wanted to prove their fitness as well as to be able to be kind of a bit more daunting going into those races. And for me and Dathan being able to do that earlier in the season with people that probably didn't really want to run that fast, it was kind of a confidence booster, but also just an idea of what it would feel like when you move later on in the season into championship racing.
Sure, yeah. It's a hard game out there right now. Jordy, so you were doing things a little bit on the opposite side there. At the end of the season, you caught fire and won some fast-kicking closing races there, 354 miles at a pre-classic and Sir Walter Myler. Are you itching to race more now, right? Closing that hard at the end of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. Equally, people were also not happy with me in the core room after a couple of those. Yeah, I got called a couple of names after that pre-classic one.
Are you able to mention them here on stage?
I probably shouldn't.
All right,
but they were in good spirit. They were in good spirit.
Oh, good.
Yeah, just the timing of last season, I definitely found a little bit of fitness, right at the end of the season and ran out of races, essentially, which was a bummer, but left me, hungry for more in the next season. And yeah, I wasn't too worried about it. I just had a lot of fun in the end of the summer.
Yeah, you got to be raring to go. This is it's a great place to be, closing out the season like that. And God, I know. It seems to me like you're the most fashionable guy on the team as well, from what I've seen in
Thanks,
pictures.
Jeff. Appreciate that.
Yeah, talk about the weight that places on your shoulders. I mean, the hats are amazing. It's a serious question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not wearing a hat for once today. There's not many days I don't wear one. Yeah, it's just a lot of pressure.
Is there anybody in the group that's coming for the title, you think? Or that you appreciate their fashion sense? No? He's far above.
There's not much risk right now. Yeah.
Not much risk.
We're
all right.
good.
Safe in hand.
Yeah.
Very nice. Alicia, let's move on down to you. So it seems like every time I've seen you get up to the line, there's this sense of calm confidence. But you could just wreck yourself in races. And we saw that in the Olympic trials where you went to the hospital afterwards, after the 10,000. What inside you helps you get there to that point where you can just keep grinding away?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that I could do that either until that day, until I found myself in a hospital. But yeah, I mean, it was a big year of us just thinking about making the Olympic team every single workout. So it got to the point where at the trials I was just so focused on making the team that I was just willing to, put it all out there. And yeah, I definitely did not enjoy the heat, obviously, but yeah, I mean, it kind of just came down to thinking about it so often during workouts and stuff that we were so prepared for it.
Yeah, how did you know when you woke up in the hospital that you were an Olympian, or did somebody have to tell you?
Yeah, no, I did. I actually never lost consciousness.
Oh, good.
Yeah, which was good. But yeah, I was definitely very unwell all the time. But I remember when they were carting me, they were bringing me to the ambulance, and I kind of was trying to remember where I was, which was kind of scary. I was am I in Eugene? But
I think we all think that when we're in Eugene too.
Yeah, but yeah, so that was kind of a wild experience for me. So I think I'll remember not remembering for a very long time.
Yeah, and Dathan, I've heard you say that might have been one of the toughest performances that you've seen. You've been described as one of the toughest athletes that's hit the track, and to the point where the line so well that you flirted with it pretty often. What do you see in Alicia? Do you see that kind of thing in her?
Well, I never ended up in the hospital, so she does have this crazy ability. Just it's funny because she's one of the people that I've actually had to do a lot of workouts with. She got so good this year that I had to kind of get back in there all the time. And it just continued to blow me away how much better she would get all the time. I mean, she ran 14:42 this year, you know. I mean,
5th fastest American ever now, too.
I think 4th now.
4th.
Yeah, I mean, just incredible. And 23 years old, you know, like, and so, you know, to make the Olympic team in the 10K and in that fashion and 100+ degree weather, and you know, she was on all the time, and I never worry that Alicia's going to show up on the starting line. Like, she's going to show up. Same thing. Joe PR'd like every race except for the trials and the Olympics. I mean, Ollie goes out every single time. Like, these guys, this team I know if they're on the starting line, they're going to do it. And so there's a sense of, I still get nervous, but I know how tough they are, whether it's Alicia or any, you know, like, because I see it every day, and I see it when they're not tough too, but that makes them tougher, you know, those moments. And I think that, you know, it's just amazing what they can put themselves through. I used to be able to do that, and I can't anymore, so that's why I coach now and I don't run anymore.
Well, I think people are seeing what you're talking about too, where there's equity in that logo now too, because at the beginning of the year it was like, well, this is a new group, we'll see what happens. But now, because of the things that all of you have done, when you see the OAC on somebody's chest step on the track, you're like, okay, like, now it's time, and they expect a certain level of performance out of that, which is really cool in my mind. Carlos, let's get down to you here. So you had an up and down year too. You're dealing with some pesky injuries, but that seems to be the calling card of this group too. Is that, like, you push through adversity, and you can, like, you guys seem to. It's a group born from the pandemic, if I could be poetic about it, I guess. You're rising up out of the ashes here. How do you draw on your teammates here to bring you up and hit the training every day and know that there's better days ahead?
Yeah. So as the only built distance runner here, when the group was formed, I basically put myself in it, put my nose in it, and was just gonna throw punches with everybody and just see where that takes me. Unfortunately, I picked up a few injuries along the way, but that was frustrating. But it was cool seeing, like, all my teammates run phenomenal. And then the cross training, I remember there was a point where me, Jordy, and Alicia all picked up an injury, but we were all out there, you know, cross training. We called it the sweat shack. 'Cause I was on the bike, Jordy was on the elliptical, and Alicia was on the treadmill, you know, on the lever. And, like, we all have each other's backs, even the lows, the highs, and everything in between. I know that this team is a team that I can, you know, rely on. You know, if I'm feeling down, they pick me right back up, especially in a year where I, you know, was kind of up and down all season. But like I said, their performances were really inspiring, and it just, inspired me to, you know, get healthy and get back right on the horse and, you know, work my butt off. So.
Yeah, and you've got an interesting relationship with Leah on the team here too. Like, yeah, that's what I've heard. I mean, Leah, you told me when we were commentating together down at the Sound Running Invite that I think you built like a sim village for Carlos, or something like that. But we've also gone through Instagram and see your interactions with each other. Like, you had a birthday recently, and you posted your age on there, and Carlos just commented, "Woof." And then Carlos posted a heartfelt message about missing in the Olympics this year, and how he's sorry for the people he disappointed and things like that. And you just said, "Thank you for apologizing." So what's this all about? Talk a little bit about that relationship there.
Oh, no. Okay, so I have 4 brothers, and I'm very used to interacting with, like, boys or men, and you know, Carlos, boys, men. We do, all of us did this personality test at one point when we were at a training camp for 5 weeks in Arizona. Carlos and I ended up having the exact same personality type, so it's the same type of communication, which is just degrading, but also I love you, and it just goes back and forth between like you suck and I love you, and it just goes like, and that's our love language. So I will support him through thick and thin, and also make him feel like I hate him.
When he needs it.
Yeah.
When he needs it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carlos, does that sound about right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, it was being the oldest in my family. I have 2 younger siblings, and Leah's kind of more like an older sister to me, and so I don't know, I feel like I'd have to be a younger brother and annoy the hell out of her, and yeah, like I was telling her, I was like, we can't really be together, but we also can't be apart. Because when we're together, we're fighting, but when we're apart, she's sending me weird memes on Instagram all the time, and I'm like, what are you doing, and when we're together, I'm sure Colin, the media guy, has like a whole reel of her like punching me and me like tripping her up, and there's a lot of bloopers in there.
It's kind of spilled over to the rest of the team, though. Like everyone kind of has that dynamic, like a sibling type relationship with each other, where we support each other to the ends of the earth, but also like one-on-one, we just pick on each other. Like like we never let each other feel awesome, and in a good way.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
we're
like,
always striving.
Yeah, like for example, like when Ollie ran 3:33, I was like, damn, dude, you couldn't even run 3:32. Damn, that sucks.
Be better.
Be better.
I'm sure you went to bed that night too, thinking, God, I gotta run 3:32 next time then. Nice. Yeah. Well. At the trials, we met a few new teammates too. This is the original 8 up here, and of course, Coach Dathan here. But we had a few new additions, and it was exciting to see them come out in Eugene and see who was wearing an On Athletics uniform. But we had CU Indoor Mile Champion Sage Herta join the team.
Woo-hoo.
U of O 10,000 meter champion Carmela Cardama Baez, and Australian 5,000 meter great Morgan McDonald joined the team. So let's bring them up here. Now we got a full stage. All right. Wait, everybody get comfy up here. We got to fit it. Yeah, we got to be able to fit in the frame. So, 2 freshmen and a grad transfer, it seems like. So you,
I'm not that old.
No, you're not. You're a young man. You got a lot of good days ahead of you. Let's get this smoke out of here first. Yeah, so you guys are in an interesting situation where you were able to see this group as an actual entity before you joined. Before, the way it was pitched to everybody else here is just a vision, something that they could form. So speak to what you saw in this group, what they created, and what drew you to it. Let's go with you, Sage.
Well, my position was really unique because I wasn't a part of it, but I got to see it. Well, it was still just an idea. Like, no one had committed to actually making this happen yet. And so I got to see, just like how Joe was saying earlier, like they were saying all these things, and then On delivered on all of those promises, and Dathan delivered on all of those promises throughout the whole year and built something really special. And I just knew that that was something that I wanted to be a part of, like just to see it all come together and just gaining momentum across the whole first year. I saw that like I could get carried along with it.
How about you, Carmela?
I also got to come and visit with Sage. Dathan called my coach, and was like, this is something that you should come check out. And I'm really glad I came in that visit, because at first I was just like really excited because I knew how much potential the people that were there had. But I think what Leah said about being like siblings, like when I got here and suddenly like our meetings are just like a bunch of dogs and like Leah roasting Carlos, I was like, this just feels like a college team where people just works really hard and make Olympic teams, and I feel like I'm gonna fit right in, and yeah, it just made me want to be part of it. Yeah.
And 10,000 meter champion too in the NCAA. I know. Well, after you made the decision, you watched Joe and Alicia make the team. were you just thinking like, cha-ching, like, I made the right decision here to join this team?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I had the opportunity to race with Alicia also in college, so I've seen her kick ass for a while, sometimes my own ass. So I was like, I just want to like hop on that train and be with it. And yeah, it was really exciting to see, two people make the team in the 10,000.
Nice. And Morgan, so like you and Ollie have known each other, what, since you were like 2 years old or something?
Pretty much. I think our first team together was when we were like 8 and 9 years old, representing New South Wales back in Australia.
I was hoping that we were going to put a photo up there of like the two of you, 8 or 9 years old. Oh yeah, that's a good looking man up there.
Thank you.
But you guys were teammates at Wisconsin too. What about Ollie? What is it about Ollie that just keeps you coming back?
That's a great question. Ollie is a very, very unique specimen.
Damn right.
Where do I begin? He's just, I mean, I've seen him take some really, really big jumps in his running career, and every time it does really inspire me to then step up and try and do it similar. Because in college, he won I think I was injured. And he won his first NCAA title, and then I was like, damn, like I want to win one now, and that was big. And then obviously over the last year, it's just been ridiculous seeing him explode on the pro scene in a way that I obviously aspire to do as well. So, those types of things, like they really motivate you, and they definitely inspire you. And then even like on a more like everyday level, he's just someone who he's just different. Like as a training partner, he's unreal. Every single day he'll rock up and he'll put in the work, and he'll always. I just in my first few sessions joining this team, I trained harder than I'd ever trained before, and it was just because Ollie was there kicking my ass. And at the same time, though, he's just able to keep it light and keep it fun, and it's definitely something that I always want to be a part of.
It is funny because I think Morgan and I definitely have a sibling relationship. From starting at like 8 or 9 years old, and then for me personally going over to college in the States was particularly because of Morgan, and then we moved together to Boulder to kind of see what we could do, and then to be able to be a part of a team together again and to push each other to what we can do for not just this brand and what we've done with the group, but also our country. It's just an awesome feeling. And obviously, he says that, it was cool for me to win an NCAA title, but then I think after that he won 4, like, in the same season. So after that, I kind of felt like, I probably shouldn't have encouraged that. But it was
save some for everybody else, man.
Exactly. But it was very, we've definitely been great for each other to inspire each other through kind of this process of our running career. And to be able to be kind of pushing each other and be able to be a part of this is something special. We both knew that. So it was just really cool to be able to see our journeys together and know that we've made sometimes good decisions, sometimes bad decisions. Mostly me making bad decisions and Morgan kind of calling me out, which has been great. So I've enjoyed that.
Nice. Do you agree with that, Morgan?
Yeah, 100%.
Nice. Yeah, it's good that you guys are on the same page. All right. Well, let's do a little bit of a round table here, so anybody can jump on the mic when they want. But let's talk about the trials a little bit. So we had a good lead in, like the season leading up to the trials. People could see you guys running on tracks in LA and Oregon, and there were a lot of good performances. But I feel like, from my perspective, the trials was the place where this team really kind of coalesced and became what it is today, and people could really see what it stands for. We had a lot of big successes at the trials, like obviously Joe and Alicia making the team there, and some tough moments too. Yeah. Well, I mean, there were a few tough moments. Dathan, how important was it for you to have everybody at the trials, not just the U.S. athletes, but a lot of the team there too?
Yeah, I think that was probably, I don't know, I told Steve I want to bring everybody in. We had been together all year long, like for a year straight, and they had relied on each other, and they had been there for every single hard session with each other. They had been there when these guys ran their Olympic standards, and they had been there when they were injured, grinding out the cross training. And so
I wanted to keep them all together. We had strength in numbers, and we had strength in the bond that they had built, and so that was my plan, to get there and create as much energy and as much support for them as possible. Because when you stand on the start line of the Olympic trials, there's more pressure in some ways than there is at the Olympic Games, and so you have these people that you relied on completely, and I wanted them to be in the stands. I wanted them to know that they're standing on the line and those people are there with them. And I think it was powerful because you could feel the support, because when you're on the track, there's literally nothing else that can be done. I'm yelling. They can't hear a word I'm saying. They can't hear a word any of these guys are saying, but they're there. And you can feel that, you can feel that energy. And I think that helped through that whole 12 days. And even when it didn't go great, and we were there. And I think that's something that was very important. It just created a bond for everybody. And so it was very important that I think that we had them there. And it was very emotionally draining for some of them too. The other ones, they walked away honestly feeling, I think everybody who went there and watched all of our non-US runners, they walked away feeling like they ran the trials, I think, and it took a week to kind of come back out of that. But they lifted up their teammates, and we got 5 people on the Olympic team. And so that was what the teamwork is. They supported each other, and we got as many people there as we could.
Yeah, and Leah, I feel like, we have to touch on it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so you were in great position in the latter parts of the race there, right in the top 3, and then you clipped a barrier and went down. What was it like the night after with the team? How did they help you through that?
Yeah.
If they did Carlos help?
No, they didn't help at all. Just kidding. I remember thinking before I raced, I was like, wow, this is such a sacrifice for them to be here, because, they weren't racing, so they slept on air mattresses sometimes, and they were kind of here and there, and they showed up when they didn't need to show up for things. And to me, I think that just solidified how important the race was for all of the Americans running at the Olympic trials, and made me want to do even better. It made me want to perform even more than I probably would have if they didn't show up. If they'd stayed back in Boulder, I probably would have been like, that makes sense, but I would have been a little bit sad, So it was really nice for them to make that sacrifice to come out. But honestly, afterward, when it didn't go the way that I'd hoped, and any of us had hoped, when I walked out of the stadium in Eugene and everyone was waiting for me, that was the moment where I was like, oh my gosh, this is my team. This is my family, And we all got back to the house and cheers and partied, and it solidified a lot of things, I think, for a lot of us. But I think that those moments where, things go really well and you celebrate those highs, but when things don't go very well or not according to plan, and you can still be there for each other, it really makes it very clear to not just everyone around you, but to each other that we're here for each other, and we are the OAC. And so since then, it's kind of, I definitely the sibling shots have increased, just because we have that level of trust where you've seen me at my most vulnerable no matter what. But yeah, I was really happy to have them there for me.
Well, I think for all of us watching too, it showed how much you mean to the team itself, but how much you all mean to each other. And that's when we really got to see what this team is and what it stands for, and how powerful it is going forward too. Because you jumped on a plane after that and PR'd in the steeplechase.
Yeah, I mean, so much of what happens in running is like between the running. So you show up at races and people see us on TV or YouTube streams or whatever, and that's what they think we are. But really, the things that make us great are the in-between moments, and the things that make us happy at practice, or when we hang out and just watch movies together, or our friends. And we're humans, you know. We need that connection, and our team is very special in that sense. And it's something that I craved for literally 4 years as a professional. I thought like that wasn't a thing that I was going to be able to achieve, and to have this with this amazing group of people has been very, very special, and it's elevated a lot of our performances and made us, I think, better humans in general. So yeah.
Yeah, well said. And Sage, we know that in your semifinal too, you had an accident on the home stretch there. As a new member of the team, something like that happens. It's the first time that you're in uniform. How did you draw on the team there to get through that experience?
Well, I feel like Dathan was kind of like my biggest ally that day. He was at the hospital with me. Is this working now? Okay. Anyways, Dathan was like my biggest ally that day. He was at the hospital with me. He drove me home, and then we were waiting around to see whether my protest would get through to get into the final. And he ran my, like, after we got home from the hospital, I was like, well, I have to cool down. Like, I might be racing again. And so Dathan like jogged my, I don't know, mile and a half with me just to make sure like I wouldn't pass out from the pain or whatever. Yeah, so that was really special, and kind of just solidified to me that I like picked the right coach, someone that was going to like go to the ends of the earth for me. And really like probably one of the worst days of my running career, and to have it also be the transition day from like my college coaches to my professional coach, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a special day, but it was impactful.
And then all of you too, witnessing these things happen, what's your feeling when that happens, and then how does it motivate you going forward to perform? Ollie, go ahead.
Is this mic working?
Yeah. Going into Tokyo there.
Yeah,
like,
it's so for me and Morgan in particular, we hadn't been selected yet, so we don't get selected till after the US trial. So we didn't know our position. We were pretty we had a good feeling about getting selected. And this was the first time even for Morgan and I to go to Olympic trials, like to watch kind of a different country and see how it kind of turned out. And it's funny because for me to be how invested I was crazy. The emotional drain was a lot. Hugging Leah, I think, when I was able to get to Leah, because there's a lot of people around her at that point, when I got to hug her, I kind of realized every race I did that season, every effort I did, like a piece of that race belongs to this team. My success and the things that I was able to get right belongs to this team, because they are the ones that taught me that, and I put each and every one of them on a pedestal. I obviously don't want to inflate their egos, but that's just the knowledge that I've been able to come through going to the Olympic Games, was seeing the trials and seeing Joe and Alicia achieve something that is so important to them as athletes. Like I can imagine them as young kids like me wanting to represent their country. To see Sage and to see Leah and Emily like put everything into it, it was just something that was very inspiring, and it's something you can't teach. No matter what your coach does to give you a pep talk, you can't learn that. And I think Dathan knew that, and that's why he brought us there. And I think for Carlos, Jordy, myself, and Morgan, and Carmela, like as foreigners, seeing that kind of commitment, but also like that kind of privilege to be able to represent your country, for us it's just something inspiring for us to bring back to our country. And I think for me personally, it really helped going through and competing in championship races, because they inspired me a ton. And being a guy coming out of college that has no idea what the hell is going on because I'm so vague, it was very inspiring to see them to do that. So that was I think Dathan was just like, yeah, he knew what was going on, and he knew that was going to happen. So we appreciate that a lot.
And I have to imagine that you guys feeling it this much too, the highs, seeing each other's successes on the track too, that's got to be ridiculous. Like, what's it like watching your teammates make the team and then race in the Olympic Games too?
Yeah, well, I would say the successes didn't really start there. I mean, I think a big moment for our team, at least for me, was seeing like Ollie's first race in New York when he ran 3:33. Because we were at training camp at that point, so we were like really like a family. We were living together, and so we were like 24/7 hanging out. And then we flew to New York, and we didn't really know what kind of shape we were in or anything. We had run some good workouts. We thought we were in shape, and then Ollie goes and runs like one of the fastest indoor 1500s in world history. And so, like seeing that was, I think, just like what really kicked off. I mean, it was early, January or February. It really kicked off the whole year for all of us.
That was cool too, because there was no fans at that point, and I remember going down the straight, and I just see Leah, like I just see everyone like that was there for the meet, just screaming and throwing arms and everything like that. And like at that point, you weren't experiencing any spectators, but having your teammates act like fans was, it was very special. Yeah.
Watching Alicia make the team, because that was that the day after my race or 2 days? 2 days after my race, so I had a day to recover. But I remember getting to the track. One of my greatest fears was that she would be distracted by anything, because she was one of the last races at the Olympic trials, which is just a long time to be there, you know? But she handled it so well, with so much grace, and she got to the track and was so tough. It brought me to tears watching her compete, because we've watched her on the track day in and day out, stuff that I could not even fathom doing. She just would buckle down and do it, and it showed me a new level of training, and she continues to show me a new level of training, and I'm inspired by her, even though she's younger than me. Just watching somebody go to that level of pain and sit in it and revel in that pain. I was honestly just in tears watching her do it. So it's just cool. And Joe too. I mean, we watched you. We weren't able to go into the meet at that point, but we watched you on TV and just sobbing, watching each other succeed. And I think that I've never had that aside from like in college, and definitely not at this level.
Well, I'm fired up just hearing about these stories too, and it makes me want to be on the team. And every time I see you guys walk out on the track wearing your singlets too, I think that carries, like I said, a ton of weight, and there's a lot of equity in that logo now. So you're now one of the top teams in the world, and you get to strut around Boulder and go to natural grocers and stuff and be like, I'm on one of the top teams in the world. But you know, and I'm privileged to be up here on the stage with you. So thank you for having me here tonight. This is fantastic. But in typical Tracklandia fashion too, we have to play a game tonight. So we've got to wrap this up and switch over to the game. We're going to do that right now, and we're going to invite Andy Weeding up on stage because he has some props for you guys for this game. Somebody give the big man a mic.
Got one. All right, wow. Well, I could honestly sit here and listen to you guys talk about yourselves and each other for hours. Not the best smell, is it? But I've got to spend a lot of time with this team, and I think the beauty of what this team is it's equal family as it is performance. And like Leah said, between the running is where the fun happens. And what you see on the track for 30 minutes or less than 2 minutes is not enough time to get to know these people. And I think the games that we play here now are just a testament to bring a little bit of that character out and see more of the characters and people you are. So my lovely assistants here, Ellie and Eliza, are going to bring up a whiteboard for each of you. And the way this game works, we will ask a question. As an example, who has the prettiest hair?
Oh God, that's tough.
As an example, I feel like everybody more or less kind of knows. Well, okay.
Jordy.
And you will write your answer on your whiteboard. 3, 2, 1 will reveal, and we'll all laugh, cheer, cry, emotions of sorts.
Oh, Dathan's playing too?
And Dathan, you are in this as well.
All right.
Oh man, you can't play favorites.
We need 2 more markers.
Okay, you guys all ready? Board.
One more marker.
All right.
One more marker, please.
What do I do with this?
No. That was an example. First question.
Like the dating game.
No, yeah, Jordy wants that question. All right. First question. Who is the most competitive?
Is this including Dathan or?
This is including Dathan.
We have some answers coming up already, but don't look at
we'll
other
reveal
people's
it.
answers yet.
We'll reveal, and if you got it all down, 3, 2, 1, reveal. Oh, Dathan's got quite a few. Oh yeah, Dathan, I think you are without question the most competitive person on this team.
Dathan said Ollie.
Okay, all right, next question. Who gets the party started, the dance party started?
Is there going to be a dance party on stage after this?
I may challenge people to moves. 3, 2, 1, reveal. Ollie Morgan, Ollie, Leah, what is it? Chicken Boy, Morgan. I think Morgan's got quite a few. You're a dancer, are you?
Morgan, show us some moves.
Gotta put that on your YouTube. All right, who is most likely to wear a unicorn onesie to a party?
No, do not. Literally don't.
All right, reveal.
I guess we know who's going to do it if it's a competition to wear a unicorn onesie.
All right, 3, 2, 1, reveal. Leah. Ollie, Carlos, Ollie. Leah. Lots of Leahs. I have no doubt you probably would.
You didn't bring it this time. Thank goodness.
All right. This one's for the ladies. Ladies, which one of these fellas, if we brought a purse out and he was to wear it, would totally rock it?
A purse?
A purse. No, this is for the ladies.
I think Dathan's sitting this one out.
3, 2, 1. Oliver, Jordy, Ollie, Morgan, Jordy, Morgan. Oh, wow, that's a pretty close tie there. I think we actually have a purse over there.
Oh, here we go.
Wait,
who's it going to?
Morgan, you want to
It's
put
a
that one up?
merce?
There we go.
Morgan, there you go. There it is.
Give us a show.
Oh!
That's not bad. There we go.
Looking good.
Ooh, that's a little firm. What's in there, Morgan?
Looks like there's something in that purse.
What do you got in there?
No.
Oh!
No!
This was not scripted. This just happened to work out this way.
Now you have to put it on.
I'm really familiar with this guy.
Those that are not familiar, last week Leah came and hosted, or was part of our show in Grand Rapids. We asked the same question. Leah got voted most likely and wore the same outfit.
Wow, it feels like home.
Don't hurt yourself getting into that.
Well, while Leah's changing, this one's for the fellas. Now, are you familiar with Space Jam?
Yes, your husband would definitely be the one.
Which of the ladies is the Lola Bunny? So, like,
I don't know what that question means.
The most headstrong captain, leader of the women.
Only the men are I don't know. This one's got a weird, like, undie set.
This isn't the unicorn costume you're used to wearing?
Wow, this is not what I'm used to.
All right, fellas. You ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, reveal. All of them, none of them. Leah, Ollie, Alla, Leah. Oh, okay. Well, to add to this, we actually have a Lola Bunny hat over there. If we want to just.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Thanks for bringing this. You've got a hat too.
Leah, you are quite the target tonight.
I'm really excited about this.
Carlos, what do you think about what's going on right now? How does she look here?
Why does this keep happening to me?
I don't know. I didn't make the game.
All right, here we go.
Spectator.
Next question. In Halloween fashion, because we're all dressing up, who's most likely to wear a hot dog costume for Halloween?
Oh, shoot.
It's easy, bro.
Hot dog for Halloween. Put it out. Carlos, unanimous vote for Carlos. Well, let's just go ahead and bring it on out.
Oh, my goodness. You keep getting costumes thrown at me over here. There you go, big guy. You need some ketchup on that thing?
Actually, yeah.
That's
the beauty
nice.
of running and sport. Character is deeply involved. Oh, yeah, you can absolutely keep that, Carlos. That's yours now. Yes. All right. We'll dial it down a bit. All right. All right, who would be the first to have your back in a fist fight?
I don't want it to be the guy wearing the hot dog costume.
All right, 3, 2, 1, reveal. Ollie, Leah, Carmela, Ollie, Leah. A lot of Ollies. Ollie, okay.
Wow, Ollie.
Ollie, you're a true gentleman. Okay.
Ollie, have you been in a lot of fist fights?
No comment.
Okay.
No comments. All right, next question. Who's most likely to have a reality TV show? Ooh, that's a tough one. Some thinking going on. Thinking.
Joseph?
3, 2, 1, reveal.
Joe's got
Morgan,
Dathan
Leah,
having a reality TV show here.
He does everything.
Joe, Dathan? Yeah, Dathan, you got a lot of drama and action in your life.
What I do is interesting.
That's true. All right, I got 2 more questions. If you all got into a boxing ring with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Ronda Rousey, who would be able to stay on their feet the longest?
This one would not be me.
I don't know anyone here who would have a shot at that. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Wait, who's Meatball?
That's Carlos.
Oh, that's Carlos. Okay. I thought he was Hot Dog.
Carlos voted for himself.
Who did we get? Did Meatball win that one?
All right, and I need an answer from every single one of you on this last one. Which professional running group has the most fun?
Come on.
It's a great way to wrap it up. It's amazing.
Is it? Yeah. All right.
I mean, if something else comes out, around a long, stern talk. 3, 2, 1, reveal. All right, Morgan.
Tin Man.
Morgan's off the team. Ollie, you're fired. Carlos, get out of here.
Your mom.
My mother. Okay. A lot of out there answers.
Club.
Was not ready for that one, but hey. Thank you guys all for being great sports. Thank you guys all for being fantastic athletes. One more round of applause.
Yeah, let's get another round of applause.
On Athletics Club.
Yeah, big thank you to Boulder Running Company again. And the On Running Company too for having us out here. This is year 1, the year 1 anniversary. Join us again next year for year 2. Bigger stage, smaller parking lot too. So it's going to be packed a little tightly. But let's give them another round of applause. Let's see them out on the track soon. All right. That's it. That's it. We're out.
Thank you for coming. Thanks, guys.
Good night, everybody.